What's up, guys? My name is Alex and welcome to another Wynonna Earp theory. Today I've got a theory I'm very excited to share with you guys. So if you guys have been around my channel for at least while season 3 of Wynonna Earp has been airing, you know I do theories videos like quite regularly. I try to do them at least once a week, but whenever I come up with a theory, I like to really flesh it out and present it to you in video format. But if you haven't seen my previous theory videos, I did want to give you guys a little bit of a warning. If you don't want spoilers, while these are just theories and at this point just my thoughts and predictions and guesses into what's going to happen, they could potentially come to light. And if that is the case, then they will end up being spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled at all, you don't want to have sort of any idea or thoughts on what's going to happen in the rest of the season, maybe give this video a skip. But with that being said, let's get into today's theory. Today's theory is going to be very heavily focused on Nicole. I did do a Mama Earp and Nicole theory video. I think it was my second theory video. If you guys want to go check that out, I have that linked in the description. And while I think that theory can still stand, there are a few details that are a bit wonky, especially in regards to the timeline. I think it can still stand if you change those details. But this theory is sort of another look up at potentially who saved Nicole at the Cult of Bulshar massacre. So after this most recent episode 305, there has been a lot of talk about Bulshar and Nicole and people wondering if Nicole is somehow connected to Bulshar, if that's the reason why she survived the massacre, because the ring kind of came back to her. Bulshar's ring sort of like boomerang back to her, as she said, which was creepy, but also sort of like distracted Jolene and got Jolene away from her. So people are wondering if that's sort of like a indication that she's connected to Bulshar somehow. I've got a different theory. While I think the Bulshar theory is like really interesting and it's got some credit to it, I personally am just like, I just don't want Nicole to be connected to Bulshar, you know, that's just like, she's just too good. Like I don't want, I don't want to think that she's connected to Bulshar at all. So I've got sort of like my own thoughts on this. So this theory sort of started with the question, is Nicole supernatural or human? I feel like this question has been sort of like running in my mind since season 1. Season 1, I had a theory that Nicole was a werewolf just purely because I kind of liked the idea. Like it wasn't based on anything, I just kind of liked the idea. But it's definitely been coming up a lot more this season because she survived at 6 years old a supernatural massacre, which no one else has survived before. And it brings up the question, how did a 6-year-old survive a supernatural massacre? Now, for me personally, I like the idea, even though season 1 I did have a theory she was supernatural. Right now, I like the idea that she's human because everyone else in the gang has got some sort of like weird shit going on with them, some sort of weird supernatural shit going on with them. Wynonna can control a supernatural gun that sends demons to hell. She's the only one that can do that, so that's a little supernaturally. She's got some kind of curse running through her blood. Waverly is part angel. She's got that going for her at least. We don't know the details, but she's at least part angel. Jeremy has got some sort of supernatural ability. We know this. We don't know details, but we know he's got some sort of supernatural ability. Doc is nearly 200 years old, so there's that. So I just like the idea that she is the human of the group, you know? Like she's human, but doesn't mean she's any less powerful than anyone else, you know? And I like that she's sort of like, I guess, the human representation in that group. So for me, I'm sticking with the idea that she's human. And so then again, it brings up the question, how the fuck did a human 6-year-old survive a supernatural massacre? Like I said, I did do a theory that Mama Earp saved her from the massacre. And while I still think that theory can hold, I have another theory that could potentially be happening. What if Julian saved Nicole? As we found out in this most recent episode, Julian is Waverly's dad. He is an angel of some kind. We still have yet to find out details and the extent of his angelness. But like, let's go with me for a second. So if Nicole is human, what if Julian put some sort of protection spell or something over her? Maybe he wasn't there directly to save Nicole, but he put some sort of protection spell over her. which gave her enough time or enough whatever to get out of that place and for someone to find her, right? We know she got down to the river somehow and then someone found her and saved her. So what if like it was like a protection spell, people didn't even see her, I don't know, some kind of protection over her that allowed her to get to the river. What if that protection spell, I feel weird saying spell, I don't know if it's spell necessarily, but protection, I'm just gonna use spell as, I don't know what else to call it, but what if that protection spell has sort of lingered on her? If you've seen throughout this season in particular, she has been really resilient to like these mind controlling beings, right? The first episode we had the vampires and she sort of broke out of it, broke out of it when she was called a victim and she's like, whoa, hold up, no, I'm a survivor. She kind of broke out of it then, and I think she was the only one that was able to do that. Even though she did go back, there was a moment that she broke out. And then in this most recent episode with Jolene, she was so resilient to those treats that, especially when she pulled over Jolene in that scene, she had to keep on eating the treats to get pulled back into the sort of illusion, the mind controlling sort of spell. But she kept on breaking free. She kept on being like, whoa, what am I saying? This is not me. And Jolene kept on being like, oh, you gotta eat more. And by the time Jolene drove off, Nicole was still kind of wary about what she was saying and what was going on with the situation. So what if Julian's protection spell has sort of lingered a little bit, which has allowed her to not be as influential with these mind controlling tricks? That kind of brings up the question, why would Julian save this random girl, this random 6-year-old girl? Why he is an angel, why wouldn't he just save like anyone else in that fire or that massacre, right? Like, why Nicole? And here is another warning for you guys. It's about to get cheesy as fuck. This theory is cheesy as fuck. Get ready. So we know Nicole and Waverly are soulmates. This is a known fact. We know this. We've been shown this multiple times. Like they went to a different alternate timeline where Wynonna never existed, right? In season 2, it was a completely different timeline, and yet Nicole and Waverly still found each other. They still made their way back to each other because they're soulmates. From the get-go, it was literally as soon as like they saw each other in season 1, episode 2, it was like, oh, there's no fighting this. Like, this is inevitable. We saw in episode 3 of season 3 that like they have this conversation that I still haven't been able to get out of my head because I feel like it's significant. Waverly and Nicole are talking about the massacre and talking about how Nicole coming back to Purgatory to be a cop is probably not a coincidence. And Waverly's sort of freaking the fuck out. She's like, well, you know, we have no control over our destiny. And Nicole's like, well, if you and me being together is our destiny, I'm okay with that. And I cannot stop thinking about that. Nicole and Waverly are destined to be together no matter what. No matter what massacre happens, no matter what alternate timeline happens, no matter what bad guy comes up, Nicole and Waverly are destined to be together. And what if Julian saw this before they even met, when they were kids? What if Julian saw that they were soulmates and they were destined to be together because without each other, they weren't going to be the women they were supposed to be, right? What if Julian saw that Nicole needed Waverly just as much as Waverly needed Nicole, and to be able to save his daughter, Waverly, he needed to keep Nicole alive in that massacre because she was going to grow up to love and protect her and Wynonna and that gang. Nicole and Waverly obviously have like influenced each other. They've grown into people they might not have grown into if they didn't meet each other. So what if Julian saved Nicole because he realized they were soulmates and they needed each other? I told you, it's cheesy as fuck, isn't it? What do you think? What do you think of this theory? Do you like it, or do you like that Bulshar is connected to Nicole theory, or that Wynonna Earp saved Nicole theory, or if you've got your own theory, I'd love to hear that. But yeah, that's just one of many theories running through my head. I just kind of love the idea that Julian saw, even before they met, that they were going to be soulmates and they were destined to meet. And so he had to save Nicole from this massacre. But yeah, I think that's about it from me and my cheesy as fuck theory. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.